But I met Michelle a couple years ago at the grand finale of Truth Tour 1 here in Las Vegas. I'm sitting outside the hotel where we're at. She rolls up on her motorcycle, her Harley, jumps off, rode that thing from Colorado. And there was just some crazy spirit, talking about being connected, right? There's some crazy spiritual connection that happened there. We just feel like we've known each other our entire lives. So she's been a fantastic one. She's doing all kinds of great work and is very heavily involved in trying to bring us people together and some indigenous as well. Am I correct?
You're correct.
So here's Michelle Skiow from Colorado.
Well, welcome and thank you all. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you all for coming and joining us. And we're all one family, so we're here to be united as one. And we really need to look.
I'm here for a reason, right? I'm not just a weirdo. I am a weirdo.
This is Louis Herms.
I am.
And Louis Herms is the organizer. He's the one that is bringing all we the people together. And it's because of him and his vision that we've been traveling for 3 years now.
Yeah. That's not why I came up. She asked me for support. So that's what I'm here for, because she has an incredible message, one of the most connected people spiritually I've ever seen in my life. And she understands how what we've done to the indigenous people literally from day one, but how we can use what their teachings are to help us unify. So I'm going to let you continue. Keep it real close.
Okay. Close my heart.
Yeah.
All right.
Just like you are.
So yes, Louis brought up about the indigenous peoples. And if we look back at history, it's always been that the deep state, the cabal, whatever you want to call them, all the evil ones, the satanic worshipers, because they're the most connected with Mother Earth and our Creator. And they've had that inclination throughout their lives, and they've shown it throughout their tribal ways, where if one person has something and somebody is lacking, they share it. They're always looking out for one another. In God's creation, we're all one family. I mean, we're all brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers and children. And we're supposed to be helping one another. And this is the way we need to go forward. Forget about what's happened in the past. There's been a lot of trauma in the past. We've all lived many lives, and we've all suffered. We know people that are close to us that have suffered. But what are we going to do to move forward? We have to take our Creator's vision. He has provided us with sovereign rights that cannot be taken away from us unless we allow them to be taken. If we cede those rights, that's up to us. But stay in your sovereignty. You've got the power. Our Creator has given us all of the abundance and provided for all of our needs. If you look at the earth, all of the plants are there. They're our medicine. We don't need pharmaceuticals. Actually, we need to stay away from pharmaceuticals. And whatever the mainstream media is telling you, do the opposite. But we need to come together as one, united as one family, and moving forward. And our biggest downfall are us lacking the positivity to move forward. Get rid of the anger. Get rid of the judgment. Like I said, we're all one. Let's look at how we can help one another, not how we can detract from one another and how we can denigrate one another. Let's lift ourselves up together, come together as one, and move forward. As I said, the Creator has provided everything we could possibly want. And we have abundance coming to us. But we have to realize that forget about realizing, but know that we are deserving of everything that the Creator has given us. The abundance is there, the plant life is there, our animals, our beings that we share with, our brothers and sisters, whether they have a difference, they have opinion, it doesn't matter. We've got more in common, as Bruce had mentioned, than we do differences. Let's look and really push forward with the likenesses as opposed to the differences. The indigenous way showed that everybody worked together. They were not looking to separate. They were not looking to discriminate, that you're a boy, you're a girl, you're old, you're young, whatever. They all came together and worked with one another. You had the grandparents with the children. Our children right now are our future, and right now they are being institutionalized, indoctrinated in prison. There's no reason for a kid to be in school 8 hours a day, to sit and listen to do rote learning. There's no Socratic learning at all. You know, when I was teaching, I used to tell my kids, read. When you're done reading, read some more and question everything, including me, because I can throw out all kinds of shit. And you know, you got to look at all sides of everything. And don't just look at my side and my belief. Yeah, we all have our own opinions. But what is your opinion? And what's your opinion? I need to know your side so that I can take the best of both worlds. And maybe I'm going to learn something from you, and maybe you're going to learn something from me. But question everything. Are there any questions? So, anyways, thank you all for being here. And let's go back to our Creator. You know, it's all love, and get rid of any of those negative emotions. We need to throw them out the window and move forward. Judgment's going to hold you back. Anxiety's going to hold you back. Anger's going to hold you back. Move forward. Move forward. What can we do? Don't look at the problem. Look at the solution. What kind of solution are you going to come up with? Thank you. I love the hugs. This is what it's all about.
Oh, wow, am I getting shocked? Every time I touch this board, like 3 times now, I've gotten shocked.
Welcome to Vegas.
Ooh. So that little dryness, is that what's going on? Holy cow. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Florida boy, and it's a little on the warmish side for me.
Yeah, it hasn't cooled, so like it's been like 80s by like 5 a.m. still. We normally
Why not?
like
That's what I was, yeah, it gets cool, I mean, almost coldish. For a Florida boy like me, when it gets close to 50 degrees, we're,
freezing.
yeah. But I mean, the joke is, oh, it's not the heat, it's the humidity, you know, and now, no, when it's 110-ish outside, it's still 110-ish. Oh, yeah. But anybody here watched the debate last night? Any thought was good, bad, indifferent? What's your initial thoughts? I'm curious. Just randomly. Huh?
It was very one-sided.
Uh-huh. One-sided, yep. Yeah. Well, a couple of things. I mean, my first general reaction, my viewpoint, unpopular as it might be, was that she was just like trying way too hard. You know, she has super memorized, canned responses for everything. Even her facial way all of her facial, everything was completely rehearsed and put on, just like an actor. So that was my initial thing. And then, yeah, there's the 3-on-1 situation. As I'm scrolling through X this morning to see what's going on, what everybody's kind of feeling, you know, get the pulse. It seemed as though, and that's what's great now, mainstream media is done. They're over. Nobody listens to them, really. It's just unfortunate that they're constantly out there. They're the loudest bull. They got that bullhorn still, even though it's fake, phony, and false, as Dave from X22 says. But anyway, we the people are the news now. It takes minutes sometimes, I mean, hours, minutes, for people to decode and put stuff out. Did you see that somebody noticed that the earrings that she was wearing was the same exact style as a new, like, Bluetooth or, you know, listening device, you know, things that got the sunglasses and the bone stuff. You don't even have to have it in your ears. So they picked that up pretty quickly. And I was like, that makes sense. You know, nothing you can really prove, but just it's all plausible, right? Because I don't know.
Did you notice how she would pause as if when
Trump
was speaking, she was listening to something?
And that takes some skill, you know, to have somebody speaking in your ear and then you speak and then you just make it not like, you know, what's going on. So these guys are master spellcasters and wordsmiths. But yeah. So I mean, it's funny how they are still trying to paint this image, this facade, this thing that is super close. You know, it's 49-51 and all this stuff. It's going to be crazy. Whether or not it happens, I don't know. I don't care. I've gotten to the point where I don't care what happens. I'm ready for anything. You know, I know my path, and I'm trying to, you know, help as many people as possible. to be prepared, be like a good Boy Scout, right? Because we don't know. I mean, anybody that tells you, if you go from podcasters or other things, other people online, Rumble, whatever, people tell you that they know what's going on, that this is going to happen, that this and this and this. Nobody knows. We can have some general ideas from history, reading some tea leaves and kind of have. Really? Is this thing working? Is that mine or did that come from somewhere else? Is this even on? Hello? Ow. Hello, is it working? Check. I guess so. Anyway, good? All right. We can get you, everybody pulling this rope in the same direction on these type of, topics, especially here locally. We can move the ball forward a lot faster than if we had not. And this wouldn't be possible, us doing this, 50 cities in 33 days, which is crazy. Today is number 10 out of 50. We're excited. 2 a day tomorrow. We got 2 tomorrow. So anybody watching, if you're in the Riverside, California area or San Diego, we'll be there tomorrow, 2 tomorrow. Then we got a day off for Kevin's wedding. And then we're heading further up the coast in California. When we get out to the East Coast, there's going to be 3 a days because they're a lot closer together. So Lou, we're going out there, boom, boom, boom. We couldn't do this if it wasn't for the help and support of all the people and our corporate sponsor, friend, great guy, Verity Metals, Matt Geiger from veritymetals.com. Yeah. Because we all know the importance of being prepared for what might happen, and that some of that has to do with our finances, protecting our wealth, and we know silver is probably better off. Silver and gold, the precious metals, that's the safest way. If you got money, a whole bunch of money in the stock market or 401ks, I would seriously. I'm not a financial advisor, but it'd probably be a better idea to look at some other options. Just a suggestion, because the entire financial system in the United States is a house of cards, just waiting to come down. It's going to crash. It's not a matter if, it's a matter when, and then how deep it goes. My viewpoint, as unpopular as it might be, is going to be worse than 2008. Could be, the Great Depression type stuff when it happens. I don't know. It's just got to be a realist about this, and I got to be prepared. So I'm going to bring up Matt Geiger. He's going to talk about his purpose and function with the Unity Tour, a little bit about Verity Metals. So please help me welcome Mr. Matt Geiger.
Appreciate it. Should I just hold it?
You could hold it or clip it.
Hello? Yeah, there we go.
Go right into the end of it.
Thank you for coming, guys. It's awesome. I am Verity Metals. We're out in Phoenix, Arizona. And, I don't care if there's, 200 people here or 20 people. It doesn't matter. It's like everybody here showed up. You guys know what's going on. I got my awakening back in 2018. And it was the rumblings we heard about JFK Jr. and all that. My aunt was actually the original publisher of George. Wow. If you look in the inside cover in the original issues, it's Eleanor Carmody Gibbons, and she was JFK Jr.'s, right-hand woman. And I was actually really honored because I was in the new George magazines that recently were issued, so I did an article in there. But I'm probably like most of you, where you start to realize who's really behind the scenes, right? And when it comes to gold and silver, it's like, okay, they're not really traditionally very good investments. I don't really look at gold and silver.
Water, and then I'm gonna eat a pretzel.
We hear you, Poppy.
I need more water.
It's okay. He's stealing my thunder. No. Gold and silver are traditionally really not very good investments. What they are is they're a placeholder, right? It's something where if the country's working properly. The best way it was put to me was, when the country's working properly, things are functioning, right? We're getting balanced budgets passed, which obviously we're not. You want to be in the stock market. You want to be investing in businesses and different places, right? You put your money to work. But when the country's not working properly, like where we are right now, that's where you want to store the value, right? I don't think gold and silver is some long-term hold or anything like that. I think it's really just a bridge to get you from this corrupt system. And it's funny because some of the early conversations, I've been in the business about 10 years, and when I first woke up to this stuff in 2018, I would start having conversations with people about, like, the banks are owned by the cabal. It's owned by this satanic cult. Like, you have no idea who you're dealing with. And people literally be like, hey man, you're crazy. Thanks for calling, and just hang up the phone. Nowadays, now that people have gone through this process, it's amazing. It's like I'm seeing the awakening in the phone calls and the conversations I'm having with people. It's like, it's incredible. You know, what did we learn last year or the year before? We learned that Jamie Dimon, right, the CEO of Chase and JP Morgan, he was Epstein's personal banker. One of them, right. So you start looking into these banks and these different entities. It's all the deep state. They're in lockstep. As a matter of fact, Jake Chansley, the QAnon shaman, he was in the Arizona event. The whole thing's lockstep. Our fast food, to our banks, to our medical system, to the legal system. It's all BS. And I would just encourage people to realize I think we're at a point where we're breaking free from this system. We're breaking free from this cabal. And that's a wonderful thing, right? That's a wonderful thing to say. But what's going to happen in the banks? What the hell's going to happen to people's money? I'm not going to sit here and fearmonger people, say, oh, you're going to lose everything. But I will say that it's not going to come without a price, and these guys are not going to go quietly into the night. And I do think precious metals is just it's a bridge, because on the far side of this, when we do take the country back and we do get our republic back, and we know how to keep it, right? Because that's the key. That's why we can't do it right now, is we wouldn't know how to keep it. But I think when people realize how to keep it and we can do this, there's going to be so many investment opportunities in American business, in American markets. When everything gets restructured, we bring in a level playing field. Trump talks about it a lot, actually. That's where people should be really excited. It's not right now. The opportunities are not right now, right? It's really on the far side of this when we create that real change and we get to that point. That's where you want to deploy that gold and silver right back into markets. And I do think we're going to go back to gold and silver as money, probably a basket of metals as a currency. But, you know, just as far as the Unity Tour, when Lewis had asked me, hey, do you want to sponsor this thing? I said, absolutely, because at the end of the day, I don't care if I make a dime. I think it's very important that all of us, we get together, we have fun, we get to meet each other. The most meaningful relationships I've made have been in the last few years at events like this, whether it be Lewis's events or others. The most meaningful relationships and the most important people I have in my life are coming from groups like this, right? So no matter what you do, we all have each other's backs. And I would really encourage everybody to think in those terms. You know, where business has been really good for me is like, I put out to the universe and it comes back. And I would encourage everybody to do the same thing. It's like when you put it out there, it's like an amazing phenomenon. It just comes right back to you. So it's like, for me, like I said, I don't care if I make a dime off this tour. I'm just happy to be here with all of you. I'm staying at Trump International, so if anybody wants to come party at the hotel, I got the penthouse suite. So if you guys, I'm serious, if you guys want to come up and party, it's on me. But I just say it, and I just want to thank everybody for coming and listening to me rant and rave. If you have interest in gold and silver, feel free to call me, or just go to your local coin dealer. I see a lot of gold and silver shops around here. Hey, nothing wrong with it. You know, just get your hands on it. You know, you can probably find some a lot of pawn shops. Good place to actually find some good deals. But get your hands on the stuff. Start thinking ahead. I think we're to really. I get up and I'm excited. You know, I don't fear these guys. I don't live in that fear that I think I used to. I think there's a lot to look forward to, and I would encourage everybody to think that way. And I think you guys do. I think I'm in the right group of people. So thank you. Thanks a lot. And that's Very Metals. Thank you guys. Pop. Yes. Vicky. We just met at the bar at Trump International at lunch. I invited her over. Go ahead.
I'm from Washington State.
Oh, God. Out. No, joking.
And I'm driving. She grew up with me.
Yes, Vicky.
Okay, I kind of have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Stock market fails. Cash is bye-bye. We got gold and silver. How are we going to pay our bills with our gold?
Love the question. Love the question. I don't think it's going to be that everything just crashes at once. I think you're going to see a process where you're going to start seeing the dollar devalue, where you're going to see a grassroots movement in gold, silver, maybe some of the cryptos, maybe other things, right? You're going to start seeing the dollar get beat to hell. What Juan O'Savin's been talking about lately, he actually just sent it out in a newsletter, is, and I've actually been talking about this for a couple of years now, but, you know, people talk about BRICS, right, the BRICS nations and how, right, and essentially all these other countries are moving to the Chinese-backed yuan, right, which is a gold-backed currency. Well, that's fine and dandy, and these countries are going to go on a gold-backed currency. That's one component. The other component is what are these countries operating in all these decades? They've been operating in dollars. So these countries are sitting on billions or trillions of US dollars that now they're uprooting. Those dollars don't just disappear. They're going to be flowing back to the United States. So it's actually going to be this is warfare. Right? This is not, you know, firing inflation and devaluation of our money through the roof, right? So to your question, I could see a local restaurant just saying, hey, if you guys want to pay for, if you want to take your group out for lunch, we'll take 2 ounces of silver, right? And it's not going to come from Trump, huh? Almost like a barter. Yeah, it's got to come from us, right? What I've learned about this movement is it's got to be grassroots. It can't just be Trump saying, hey, we're doing gold and silver now. It's like, no. You want to see the system fail because that's the only way people are going to wake up and learn, right? They're going to have to see it and experience it, right? We got to go through it. And that's where I think you're going to start seeing the grassroots movement and people saying, hey, you know what? Car dealerships saying, yeah, I'll take a couple gold coins for this, Ford Mustang. Sure. We would much prefer to operate in this than this worthless US dollar. That's how I see it kind of playing out. I could be wrong, but that's my theory. $2,500 an ounce right now, spot, yep. And what is that? That's not that gold's becoming more valuable, that's the dollar losing value. So it's like you're not buying gold at 2,500 to sell it at 20 grand and you made this big profit. It's like, no, if gold's 20 grand, you probably have like missiles flying over your front lawn every day, right? That's, it's the dollar losing value. That's what's pushing up the price of gold. Any other questions? We'll go to this gentleman and then back to you, Vicki.
What do you know about the quantum financial system?
I think there's components of it that are true. I definitely think that digital will play a role. But I think you need the hard asset, and I think you need something that's written in the Constitution. So if you read the Constitution, it says our money is gold and silver coin. So just on another point, I would recommend that if you do buy gold and silver, I would go the coin route. I wouldn't buy the bars, right? Bars are, I'll give you an example. U.S. American Eagles, the flagship U.S. gold coin, right, and silver. Those gold coins, by law, have to be minted. There you go. She came prepared. Those gold coins have to be minted with gold that was mined within the United States. So if you're buying, let's say a Valcambi 1 ounce bar, that's Swiss gold. Can that be minted into a U.S. coin? I don't think so, at least the way the laws stand now. So there's little nuances that you want to be aware of. And I always tell people, it's like, go with U.S. currency every time. You pay a little bit more for it, but you get a much better resale, and you're plugging yourself into whether it be a quantum financial system, some type of hybrid. I can tell you this, Nassar Jassar is a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of nonsense. It's a psyop by the deep state. I wouldn't believe it. Your bank accounts are mirrored. It's like, no. I don't think people stand to lose everything, but I think people need to lose in order to realize, like, hey, you want to get rid of this deep state satanic cabal, there's a cost to it, right? Right? We're gonna have to remember this. It's like 1929. I had a client who, her mother was, she lived through the Great Depression, and she told me a story about how her mom would go to the grocery store, and they give you little samples with the wooden spoon. She'd tuck away that little spoon when she was done because it was just something of value, right? It was like the PTSD of the 1929 crash. I think we need to experience some PTSD from the 2024 or 20, whatever it is, crash. I think people need to remember this day, and it's got to hit people in the pocketbook because unfortunately people are so asleep. It's probably the only way people are going to wake up. Vicki, again.
I sure hope the Democrats get to experience that part, and we're all prepared with gold and silver to make it through this, because I think it is going to be a big thing. Another thing I have to ask about is the U.S. debt clock. Is it true or false? And the little things that come up, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays.
I'm aware of it. There seems to be something going on there. It's a little bit out there. I mean, what I would be concerned about is, I would just look at, what our system's built on. It's built on quadrillion dollars of derivatives, right? Forget the debt clock. That's trillions of dollars. We're talking quadrillion, right? It's debt built on top of debt. It's all debt exit the system. We could have a conversation for days about this stuff. I don't want to speculate. I want to tell people what I know or what I don't know. And I would just say, be on the safe side. Don't, just get out of the system.
The only reason why I follow it is because on the silver and gold aspect of it, it says like what it was in 2000, blah, 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 and what silver and gold is going to be in 2025, and it's 100%. Just saying.
Yeah.
I kind of look at it just.
One thing I don't do with people is I don't speculate on price because at the end of the day, gold and silver really should just be a store of value. Yes, silver is very suppressed. We know the banks have been suppressing it, specifically J.P. Morgan, right? They short it. They create paper supply, right? They can do whatever. They can make the price go up. They can make the price go down. I would just say, I don't think the price of gold or silver at the end of this is really going to matter. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. I don't think the price of gold and silver is really going to matter. I think it's going to be, the way I look at it, and hey, I'm no guru, right? I don't have a crystal ball. I'm sure there's a lot more smart people in this room than me, but I think it's just the difference between having money and not having money, right? You want to have, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a buy-in to the new system. I want to take advantage of those opportunities when we have an even playing field. When U.S. markets open back up, when U.S. businesses, it's like, you look around this room, it's like, I look at these things on the wall, the little bar center. It's like, these aren't made in the USA. Everything in this room could be made in the USA. People could be running businesses, building these things. I bet you these materials here are made in Taiwan or made in China, right? I think what we're going to be doing is taking an isolationist standpoint for probably 4 or 5 years, building up U.S. business, building up U.S. industry, and I want a piece of that. And I look at my gold and silver as merely just a buy-in to that. It's something that I'm going to convert back into the future and take advantage of those opportunities. And these are opportunities that are, once in, a millennia. Yeah, yeah, or 1,000. Any other questions? What was that? This big of a what? Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, the opportunities I don't think are right now. I think it's in the future once we sort out this mess. Because from chaos comes order, and I think it'll be the good guys that bring order from that chaos, right? God willing. Any other questions? Thank you, Vicki. Thanks for showing up. You too, Cheryl. Say again? I mean, you can get it from my company, Verity Metals. We keep a very healthy inventory. As a matter of fact, we're going to do a little giveaway. We'll give out 5 silver coins. So we'll do maybe like a piece of paper and a hat or something. Or just go down to your local dealers. Like I said, you got pawn shops. If you live in this area, I see pawn shops. These are probably great places to buy gold and silver, honestly.
And you're never taxed on it.
Some states you are. I don't know in Arizona you're not. Yeah, in our state constitution of Arizona, you're not taxed on it. I don't know what Nevada's laws are. I'm sure okay, so they're not taxed here. Okay. California, you're taxed. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, you don't even have to go to me, Verity Metals. You could, plenty of places to buy this stuff. Just get your hands on it. Anything else?
Awesome.
All right, so does anybody know why they call me a mushroom? Exactly. It's because I'm a fun guy. Oi. I took a couple of notes. Most people know I go off the cuff, but there's a couple bullet points that I have here, so I think are super important. Or as my lovely, beautiful wife would say, muy importante. Does anybody know the date today? 9/11, right? Infamous, correct? Unnecessary wars that we were convinced were righteous wars. How about so much that the CIA has been involved in, and we thought they were working for the good guys, and they were working for a deep state. Most of us are familiar with that by now, I would assume. So how does it change? And it really changes with us. Because what happens is, and I think all of us can kind of agree with this now, maybe not 5 years ago. May I have some water, please? But we can agree with this now. America and the founders have created just an amazing construct for us. When most of us agree with that, 1776, the founders created an amazing construct for us. But many things that are amazing also have been manipulated. Thank you very much. And with the manipulation, we become used. And that's a fact. We're all complicit in where we are now, and this is the hardest thing to swallow. I've had over 1,000 conversations on this subject. But there was a time that we saw something wrong and we kind of just let it blow off. There was a time where we saw something in Hollywood or something on stage and we still supported the person. We still bought tickets to that concert, so on and so forth. You know, I'm guilty. I would loved heavy metal back in the day, and a lot of it's really cool. But there's some elements of it too that are, you know, clearly satanic, right? And I blew it off. That's awesome. They're just having a good time, right? Ozzy, he bit a head off of a bat. That's so cool. Like now what I know, the symbolism, the symbology of what was being done and everything else, I'm like, wow. So I'm complicit. Louis Herms is complicit in where we are today because we were fed so much bread and circus, right, that we didn't know what to do. I'm going to tell you right now, the greatest psyop is probably the United States. And the reason why I say that is because we are told to other countries that they're the beacon on the hill. Aspire to be American. You have to get to America because it's the greatest. If we were using the values set in the original documents, the Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, Constitution, I mean, it goes on and on and on and on, right? If we were actually living by the value set that was established there, or maybe just the golden rule, right? We would absolutely be the beacon on the hill, the people that should fight and do everything they can to come here, right? But the reality is it's a psyop. And what I mean by that is the baddies, they sell everybody on this ideal that we have here while they're poisoning us with over 1,000 chemicals in our food, right? Prominent group that you may know them, Clintons, that established a stronghold in Libya, and they were literally selling humans in live auctions on the streets. So, my wife and I have 7 beautiful children. 3 of them don't like us very much right now. You know, it's amazing what indoctrination you can get out of a university. Now, that being said, we have one child who's the oldest. He's a Marine. Well, we have 2 Marines and 1 in the Air Force, so yay and hoorah. Simplify. So, but our oldest, I won't give his age because then my wife will go, come on, man. Anyways, he had a good friend that when he was back home, he was working on the, anybody know the Osprey? The Osprey is a very cool plane / helicopter where propellers go up like this and then in midair and you can take off and go in there. It's badass. So he was one of the top guys working on it. He was considered he was an on Osprey combat mechanic. Thank God he never had to go into combat, but that's what he does. It was like one of the top positions. So anyways, there's 2 stories with him I want to tell you because it's so important to what we have going on and taking the power. But the first story is kind of heartbreaking. His friend came back from combat, undisclosed, couldn't talk about it, extraordinarily depressed. And this guy was an upbeat, woohoo dude, right? Came back extraordinarily depressed. And my son kept trying to figure it out. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And finally, he opened up. And he was suicidal, by the way, at the time. He opened up, and my son, Chris, said, just tell me what's going on. I found out we weren't the good guys. That's what he said. I found out we're not the good guys. I believe we are the good guys, but the deep state is not the good guys. The deep state doesn't have anybody's favor except for themselves. That's just a fact. So how sad is that? A kid wants to go fight for the country, and he realizes that he's fighting for an element within inside of our country that's bad. We're accountable for that. We are accountable for that. But there is strength, and we can do a lot more than we think. We need to know, we have to know that we can hold our power. So here's another story about my beautiful son. Our beautiful son. Did you see it? The chancla? It just flew right past me. So our beautiful son. Although I can tell you at our house, it's her bedroom. her dog, right? Right. I can't make that mistake though. Yeah, it's her house. What do you say, sweetheart? What's yours is what is it? Yeah. Okay. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. Of course she did. Of course she did. And that's why I love her so much. So, interesting enough, not the one that's approved. Okay. Well, you got 2 weeks to decide on it. Blah 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 blah. Who never wins. So, anyways, they came back to me. They go, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you this type of discharge. No, this type of discharge. Long story short, the most powerful word in the world is no. He ends up with a general discharge, and now he has 100% full benefits for life. You want to hear the irony? He is now working on the same base, making 2.5 times as much money for an independent contractor. And he's training. The Marines are coming to him to get trained. If that's not a kick in your face, I don't know what is, right? So, why do I say this? We need to take back our power, but first you need to understand that 90% of the power you see is an illusion. It's not real. I love when Bruce always says it's Toto. Trump is Toto, Bruce says, because he pulls back the curtain. And you see the little wizard back there kind of puppeting things, or the guy puppeting as if he's a wizard. It's a fact. Until we understand that we have all the power, we've given the power to them, right? We can fight back. The problem that we have is we fight back individually right now. There's one courageous person, and nobody's got their back. That's the issue we're having. Because we've seen time and time again, if you take the power in numbers, you win. I've seen it in Orange County, California. I've seen it in Shasta. I've seen it in school district in Arizona. We've actually had a deal in Minnesota that we see it. You see it all over the place. Boom, 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 boom. Every single one of those had something in common. They were in a group. They came together with the same message, and the so-called controllers cowered at the face of a group. Cowered. It will blow you away. If you go back and watch the Unity Tour, you'll see story after story after story where I've actually showed you how it works. So it is very, very important that we understand if we hold our power, we will win, right? I believe God's already won. I really do. I do. I also believe that we have to earn it. Let's say Trump comes in on that beautiful white Pegasus with a rainbow unicorn and sparklies all over it and saves the day. Where are we going to be 3 years from now? We're going to be right back here. Probably worse. Right? So we have to own it. And I always go back to this. It's very, very important. January 20th, 2017, President Trump had a slew of what behind him? He had military behind him. Beautiful military behind him. Special forces military, intelligence, a lot of intelligence military behind him. And he said something that was very pertinent that we missed. We gave it back to the people. Let me ask you a question. Does anybody, I know we're all against sports now, but I used to play football a lot. So I'm going to use this analogy to just pop to me. If I'm a wide receiver, somebody throws the ball to me and I don't catch it, is it incompletion or is it incomplete? Right, so we did not catch the ball when President Trump threw it to us. So right, exactly, good one. So we, the people, are incomplete. Wouldn't we like to be complete? How do we do that? We catch the ball. And then we have blockers. And we run together, and then we score. That's what we have to do. We're not doing that at the moment, but I believe we will do it. The reason why Bruce and I and lovely Andrew and everybody else, all the volunteers that we have, incredible. Thank you for all the volunteers. Can we give them up? All the moderators and support staff that we have. To put this thing on, actually just to run my my channel, Scuba Gov, and all the websites and everything, it's a constant conglomerate of about 30 or 40 people. It's constant. And during a Unity tour like this, it's more, right? And guess how much they're making? Exactly what it costs for admission, free. They're not doing it for anything except for you that are sitting in the seat and the tens of thousands that are watching at home. That's what they're doing it for, right? So thank you to everybody watching that is helping out. Now, why do I bring that up? Because it's really hard for us to figure out what can we do. I hear it all the time. Bruce and I have gone through this like, you can't believe, what can we do? What can we do? So we are banging our heads against the wall, and we're going to fill up all these categories of what you can do. The lovely Michelle in the back just brought something up to me, and I don't think it's on here. And she says, or somebody said it, maybe about Michelle, I think, because she's so awesome. How about support? That's something we could all do. You find a patriot group out there or somebody that's doing it right, give them that support. It's absolutely huge, huge. My wife and I couldn't do this from Bruce and his lovely wife without support. Come here, brother. And we're lucky enough to have literally the two most supportive wives that you can possibly imagine. And we can both say, we've seen several times fear in their eyes, right? An empty bank account, right? Sometimes worrying about the next place to live, right? But we always hear, go get them, go get them, go get them, go get them, right? And I've seen tear in my eyes of my beautiful wife, and she's worried about me, and then lovely Natalie, I've had conversations, and right when we're leaving, she was all choked up, right? So we have to say collectively, I'm sure, we love you so much and thank you for all the support. It is immense.
At the beginning of August of this last month, we started living in that RV full time. Was just a week or two before that, Lewis said, "Hey, let's do another tour." I was like, "Fuck. We're just doing this big transformation. Then we're going to take Esther." It's like, "Oh, shit." Knowing that my wife, still working a real job, is going to need a place to live while we're on the road. So we took our home away from my wife, left her homeless. I'm glad that we flew her out here. She'll be here for a few days, so being apart for 30 days is not so hard. Just a couple weeks and then a couple weeks. But yeah, I mean, just the support that we've given for her to allow us to take our house on the road around the country, and she's making other arrangements, staying with friends and family back home. So yeah, the support is huge. Can't even put any more words. Just don't make it. The support that we receive from our families, from the people that we meet at every location, whether there's 500 people, whether there's 2 people, whether there's 1 person, we're doing what we do to try to muster up, people, empower some people to take back the stuff, to realize that they don't have anything over us. They don't have jurisdiction. Once you make that flip of that switch in your mind and your heart that you're sovereign and there is nothing that they can do to you, it's not even real in my mind. The power, the freedom that comes from that, just the way I carry myself. The whole mindset stuff that I focus on. Every place that I walk in like I own the freaking place. You just got to have that attitude. And it's not an arrogance, it's just a confidence. We got to be willing to be beasts. I love how Jordan Peterson talks about, we got to be willing, have that ability to tear some shit up, right? To be like Jesus and flip these tables and whip some people because of what wasn't right. We're supposed, they want us to be docile. They don't want us to be that. We have to have that. That's real control. That's real power, is when you have the ability to take somebody out or a bunch of people out, and you can control that and not use that power, but have it there. That's the real thing, being able to be a beast and keep it under control. And we need more and more beasts and warriors out there. I mean, we talk generally here because I know each individual person may be doing something different. You may be doing something that we don't know about, right? That's why we're, some of this website stuff, we're getting information from other people. We don't have all the information. We don't know the right way. We're trying to, find the best way, the most honorable way, the most authentic way forward for all of us to be able to take back what they want to take away. For us to maintain, to keep that republic if we can keep it. Right? With the way that the spellcaster, just one little thing to think about, every time you hear one of these Luciferian asshats on TV talking about us, MAGA or Trump being a threat, they say, threats to democracy, but they always throw in another word. A threat to our democracy. They know that Trump's not a part of the club. And, they're scared poopless that, they're going to be held accountable at some point. Whether it's in the next realm or here. I mean, my viewpoint on popular as it might be, is we need to erect a gallows on the White House lawn and, take care of some treasonous people publicly, and that'll jerk the slack out of a lot of people. Yeah? You know you're going to be held accountable, you're going to have a different story. And it starts by us, we the people, not Lewis and I, not our wives, every single person here and everybody watching, in every town, village, county across America. We need to be the ones that stand up and be that light in the darkness.
Well, and it's definitely the collective is what we're trying to get impart to people. If we can come by and unify, right? This is why part of this came through the Unity Tour, just because we're getting so frustrated with the Patriot backstabbing and so on. There's no need for that. The devil wants the division. So if you're involved in division, you're just feeding the cabal. That's all you're doing, right? At my point. Now, is it good to expose people? Yeah, expose them, let it go, now let's move on, right? Some people build their channels off of this stuff, and I'm like, well, it's constant division. I don't know what that does for us. But adversity is a thing. So my wife keeps saying, you have to tell the story. You have to tell the story. I'm going to tell this very short story. And it just happened yesterday. So we locked in a beautiful, beautiful location for our Tampa event. And by the way, if you want to be at one, you guys online or whatever, you should be at the Tampa event at minimum. It is going to be the grand finale of grand finales. It will blow you away what we're going to do and what we're going to reveal there. I mean, the tickets are selling out when they're free. But we're getting a ton of people already registering. So you guys have to register pretty quick if you want to get a ticket into Tampa. But anyways, here's what happened. We had a beautiful, just extraordinary location. It was just gorgeous. And talked to the lady, and she was very excited to have us, right? And I said, something told me that I should tell her our format a little bit, right? And the something was, I read on the bottom of their flyers that the property was owned by a Catholic church. So, and it wasn't the church itself, but they just happened to own the property, right? And I go, So I gave her our format right here. New World Control, Legal Limited. Isn't that interesting? So she was excited about the format. By the way, when I tell you this end of the story, you'll know this is a lesson in compartmentalization, by the way. So she was so excited about this, and she goes, okay, let me just ask my boss, and then I'll send you out the contract, and we'll get it done. And I was excited because the facility was just gorgeous, just amazing. She called me back yesterday, right? And she says, sorry, my bosses said that they can't have you on there. We looked at a couple of your speakers, and they're supporting Trump, so therefore we can't have you on here. I go, because they support Trump? We're not even talking about Trump. It's not a Trump rally anyways. Why would that be an issue? She goes, I'm very upset. She goes, I can't believe that they even did that, right? So my wife says, name the church. So it's St. Mark's Catholic Church out of Tampa, just so you know. Oh, it gets better. But wait, there's more. So, and if anybody studies what's going on with the Roman Catholic Church, and I say Roman Catholic on purpose, the Vatican, right? If you haven't figured out that it's a satanic stronghold, just do a little more research. Don't get triggered by me. Just go do some research, and you're going to come back and go, damn. So it's pretty bad. But so then what happened is I had another one that was on the line, right, and called him. We had it nailed. I was excited about this. Another beautiful spot, completely beautiful. He goes, okay, let me write up the contract. I'll send it right over. Calls me back 5 minutes later. He goes, we have a problem. So what's the problem? He says, it's not available anymore. I said, how's that possible? I said, people book these things 6 months out. I'm just booking it less than a month out. And you're telling me it's not available? He goes, no. He goes, it's really weird. He goes, it's as soon as the contract is written, it's in the computer and I can see it. He goes, for some reason, they said they wrote a new contract on this 20 minutes before I submitted my requests. He goes, it's just odd. Yep, exactly. He felt so bad, though, he started calling other places for us, right? Again, compartmentalization. See, that beautiful lady that's working for the Catholic Church, she doesn't have a clue at what's going on in the background. But it sounds like maybe the managers or whoever was the in control of that church probably had a clue what was going on, right? It's very clear that this hotel had a clue that was going on. So we call another one, right? We got it done right away, signed the contract in the back room today. So that's, believe it or not, the Hilton downtown in Tampa, and it's another gorgeous facility, and it's half the price of everything else. So it was God's working clearly in our favor. And I know there's a lot of talk about these large corporations in the Hiltons, but I have to be honest. Out of the 100 or more places that we've never had an issue with the Hilton turning this down. Maybe they just like the money. I don't know. But, or maybe, yeah, it's funny you'd say it. She says, or maybe they cleaned up their act. Some of the worst things that were out there, I believe, were the first ones to be taken care of. And I truly believe, my wife has it, and I have a debate on this all the time. I truly believe that a lot of big agriculture was taken down. And I do believe that we probably have a little bit healthier food than we had prior to this. And I've seen some evidence here and there of that, which is very interesting. So I do think maybe, because they were dirty, in my opinion, right? And but they're accepting it, and Patriot event, cool, sounds good. Where do you want to put your flags? And da-da-da-da. It's like so out of character for a large corporation like that, especially the Hiltons. But hey, you have to give credit where credit's due. So I'm not quite sure what's going on, but they are open doors to us, never ever have an issue. So that's where we ended up. I think so far about 12 other of our stops are at Hilton locations and nothing. And we have so many that, so tell us all about what you're doing. Sure, we tell them, they're like, they get scared. So I told that story because my wife wants everybody to know this is not easy what we do. But importantly, I think she wants to expose these dirty rats. So she made sure that I told that story. Now, we're running a little late, but let's just go over these real quick, and then we'll let you out of here. So, as Christine mentioned, the freedominaction.net was originally a portal for all the videos, images, and documents that would get posted and deleted, or people would lose their accounts. So we created freedominaction.net. We got about 40 people together and said, as soon as you see something that you think is probably going to get deleted, send it to us. We had to download all this stuff. Send it to us, and we're gonna put it on our site and hold it, because we manage and hold the site, and it has redundant servers for security. It's pretty robust. So we've taken that whole amazing site, and what we've done, because we understand what we're doing here is very important, we've taken it, and it's kind of archived now, but it can still be accessed through freedominaction.net. What we're doing is transforming it. If you go there, it's going to look like this now. So we're going to skip the top ones. You got kind of get an idea that we have the power. It doesn't matter what the entity is. They need to listen to us. There's so much proof of that. But here, everyone can make a difference. difference. And Bruce and I, and to give credit to Gina, were with us, and we were traveling the country a while ago, and people started getting it. Okay, I want to make a difference, but it kept being the same mantra over and over, literally every stop. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Right? Some people naturally knew, like our volunteers back there, well, we can support, right? Some people naturally knew we can be a digital warrior. Some people said, I'm going to go into school boards. So as most of you know, if you deal with us, we look for solutions. We don't look for excuses, right? So we go, okay, what's the solution to this? What can we deliver to we the people? Because you're the army, right? People call me a general. I'm just one of you. Notice, by the way, I want you to notice, and this is kind of proof to this. What would we call this right here? Anybody have a name for this? It's called a stage. Did you notice we're not on the stage? It was set up for us to be on there. Sometimes we have to be on there, sometimes we will, but the reality is if we don't need to be on there, we need to be back down here because there's nothing about what we do that is superior to what you do. Nothing. And as soon as these podcasters, influencers, and politicians realize that, we're going to move forward a lot quicker, right? Everybody is gifted by God with certain qualities, right, that would absolutely trump what I have and what Bruce has. So we're all together in this. That's why we come down on the floor, just in case you're curious, like, why aren't they up there on that big, beautiful stage? Well, this is why. So real quick, this site is up, but these links are not clickable yet, but they'll be clickable very shortly. And we're going to show people how they can write an effective letter. They can effectively and peacefully protest. You jump in anytime you want. How you can document corruption. It's very important how you document some things, by the way, because you're putting it on record in essence, and you're creating a chronology that can be used in a good court. Like I have a feeling when Trump's back in office, he's going to put in a ton more judges, right? So that can be used in the future. So a lot of things we do that we think aren't effective right now, if you document them properly, they're highly effective in the big picture. So we need to think big picture here. So documenting corruption, boycotting corruption. Don't get me started on Sean Hannity. I'm not even going to go there. Okay, I'm going to go there. All right. I need some honesty. Does anybody watch Fox News still? Okay, a little bit? Okay. So here's the deal. Was anybody watching, happened to be watching Fox News in 2020? I was. Yeah. Did anybody notice that the first station to call the election via Arizona winning with, what was it, 27% of the vote was counted, some crazy low number, was what network called it? First. Fox News called it first. Okay. So here's a lesson in controlled opposition. Controlled opposition is likened to marketing. They grab as much market share as they possibly can, right? Telling you all the things you want to hear. So when they grab that market share, letting you know what you want to hear, right? They're tickling our ears, what they're doing, right? You're like, okay, this is it. But they're not ever telling you the whole story. But what they are doing is they're keeping you entertained and away from other sources that will tell you the whole story. People understand that? That's controlled opposition 101. That's the best way I could probably put it. So what happens is they had market share. In fact, they were always touting how much bigger they were than MSNBC, how much bigger they were than this, and how all the conservatives are watching their station. So I was guilty of it. Only station I would watch is Fox News, right? Right? Unless I wanted entertainment, then I'd watch CNN. So I was watching Fox News myself, and I was into it. And I started to see some things and started to wake up. I'm like, wow, they're constantly putting you in a direction. Sean Hannity, by the way, did anybody ever see a picture of Sean Hannity several times where he has a CIA pin right here? Okay. Yeah, he's telling you that he's an asset, right? You can remove the "et" off the word if you would prefer, but he's telling you he's an asset. So if Sean Hannity always says it's disrespectful to boycott, don't do that. Conservatives don't do that. Conservatives don't ever protest. No, no, no. And conservatives never raise their voice in objection. Do you think Jesus boycotted? Oh, okay, I'm just curious, right? Jesus boycotted. Do you think Jesus may have raised his voice while he's flipping over tables? I'm having a feeling he might, right? And clearly, do you think Jesus protested? He certainly did, right? But Sean Hannity's going to tell you not to do this. Why? Because they're effective. That's why. So it's typical controlled opposition. They grab it in. So if you're still watching that, you can watch that, but just be aware of the game that's being played. Right now, Fox News is playing the game big time. It's all Trump, 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 Trump. Trump's the man, Trump's the man, Trump's the man. We got Trump, Trump's going to win this election. And then on the bottom of the screen, it says Kamala and Trump are in a tight race. It's like 50-50. Are you seeing a problem there? Right? It's the game. These are CIA-directed assets. The good news is, for the first time in history, we the people get 5 to 10 times sometimes more information out there quicker than all the networks combined. First time in history. It's amazing. I just got those little God bumps because it is amazing. I can tell you CNN's top anchor, the top amount of people they get at any one given time is 460,000 people. That's it. That's it. Bruce and I can make a couple phone calls, get 4 or 5 of us on, and we'll get 500,000. Get a couple more, we'll get 1 million, right? So what you may have noticed if you're on X or another platform that has a little bit more information, not completely yet, they're not where I think they should be, but a little bit more information. What you're going to notice really quick is a few years ago, it would take us, we would hear a lie on television, and it would take us weeks to get the information, get it out to we the people, and say, okay, we crushed it. Well, by that time, it's already out of the consciousness. So the bad guys wouldn't care if it took 2 weeks. It's already out of the consciousness, and they're on to their new MK Ultra spell casting message, right? The difference is now, within minutes, if something is said on any mainstream television, a politician says it, some Hollywood fool says something, or some corporation says it, within minutes, we've deconstructed it and taken down the message on social media. And it is badass. Because for the first time ever, we the people are taking back it. We have the momentum. We are not losing. We are winning. It's going to absolutely destroy the deep state. And it's wonderful to see it. But we the people control the timeline. God's won. But we, by us getting active and doing something, absolutely speed up that timeline. Do you want to wait 10 more years until this is done? Right? Maybe 10 days, maybe 10 weeks. Would that be better? How do we do that? We got to start doing all of this. So I'm going to say this, Bruce. If you want to pop in, cool. We got to speak to the school boards. We have been crushing the school boards lately, by the way. So we'll teach you how to do that. How to be a digital warrior. There's a certain way to do it in most effectively. I can't do it because I'm banned on every platform that's out there. So you guys are going to have to help me with the messages, right? So holding your local politicians accountable. It can be done. There are some places that are a lot more deep state than others, right? So it's harder, but it can still be done. Organizing, supporting, and leading meetings. Huge. Praying. If you think you can do nothing, you can pray. Would we agree? Can you manifest? I get pushback from Christians on this all the time. I'm like, you better reread the Bible because they talk about praying and manifesting, right? And then living without fear. It's huge. And everybody's heard the acronym. Is it an acronym? What the? Acronym. Oh, wait, here, wait.
And because
That's my vodka.
Every town,
I
every
don't
city,
drink, but, you know.
yeah, every town, every city, every state has different, is slightly different. A lot of these topics are going to be generalities, starting points for you. Just kind of give you a framework that because every single person has a different passion, a different something that really gets them excited. So this might be school board, might be health, might be election, whatever God has imparted to you, your hot button that makes you get those bumpies, on the hair on your back of your neck. You get all excited and jacked up. whatever that work is, pour yourself into it. Like I said, we're just giving some ideas and topics.
Yep.
A
And we
framework.
have some people that have successes in this area
Yep.
that are participating, and we're going to show you how to do it.
And we're going to share the failures too, because we just learned that didn't work, right? I have on the mindset I never lose.
Yeah. Andrew,
I either win, or I figure out a way that it doesn't work.
Andrew, what's my favorite saying I always say about failure? Fail forward. There you go. Fail forward. It's okay to fail. Just keep going. Fail again, fail again, fail again. The faster you can fail, you'll figure out the solution, right? Right? Any young people in here that you want to go dating? Same process. So, fear, false evidence appearing real. But also, fear is the fuel for the cabal. And I say the story all the time, so I'm going to say it really fast for all the people that are annoyed by it by now. Real quick. If fear is the cabal's fuel, right? We're at war. Are we at war? We are at war, right? Okay. So let's assume that we're in a kinetic war where we have a battalion of tanks. The baddies have a battalion of tanks, right? We're going at it. The baddies, they run out of fuel. Well, I'm the general. I go, wait. Hold on, guys. I need you to get all the fuel trucks and run over there and go refuel those guys, all right? Because we want it to be a fair fight. Who in their right mind would do that? We wouldn't do that, right? Every time we live in fear, we're doing exactly the same thing. We're giving the bad guys exactly what they want. They want fear. They want apprehension. Can't do it. So I'm sorry, if you live in fear and apprehension, you know what you're doing? You're complicit in losing this war. When do we take accountability ourselves and say, no, I am not giving them that power. I am better than that. God's got my back. Fuck you, cabal. It's a choice, guys. We think fear is just inherently in his. Now, it's harder for some people than others. Okay, suck it up. Suck it up, buttercup. Right? We have to suck it up. This is a war. There's children. Does anybody want that to end sooner or later? Okay, so how can we do that? Yeah, you think they're maybe afraid? We can make the difference, though. I know we can. I'm going to end with this. We have something, how to support and hold your law enforcement accountable. We're working on, in fact, he has the shirt there, something called Remember Your Oath that will absolutely blow your mind on how we can hold sheriffs accountable and support them if they're doing a good job. Now, I'm going to be honest. I have to be authentic. I wanted that system to be done a long time ago, but this very annoying God that I have keeps sending me on a different, do this. I'm like, okay, but what about this? Don't worry, we're going to get back to it. This is more important. And I got to listen to that. And I have fun. And yes, I say things to God like when he says, Louis, now you're going to do a unit tour. I'm like, dude. No, really? Have you met my wife? Right? And surprising, it was laid out. I talked to her and she goes, yeah, go do it. I'm like, really? That easy? I should never say really that easy because now she's gonna come up with a list. Okay, you thought it was gonna be harder? I can make it harder. So anyways, we absolutely have to understand this with the police officers. So writing effective writs and affidavits, yes. Learn the difference between lawful and legal and why both matter. The reason why this means so much to me, and it's annoying, I hear there's two camps here. Let's go get them legally through the corporate structure that we have of law, which doesn't seem to be very effective to me. Or let's go full on common law and go get them, which is not effective at all either. Hold on. But when you combine the two together, like President Trump says all the time, you got to do it legally and lawfully. What we do is we approach them in the legal bullshit corporate matter, but within the documents you put in common law language. And we, at the same time, then you hit them with the writs and the affidavits and everything else. So you're transitioning these knuckleheads over to where we have to be, and that's really natural law. Ultimately, is where we have to be. The key is we're not winning in the natural common law area yet. So you kind of have to have a toe in and a toe into both ones in order to be effective, right? So this is my opinion. This is my own dissection of what President Trump says when he says legal and lawfully. This is the way that we got to yank them over to this side. So when we're working over here, hey, we already told you in your corporate law the way it's supposed to be, right? So I believe we can have some traction with that. I've actually surprisingly got some of the top common law people to come over to that way of thinking. So I'll be working with them in the near future, trying to transition so we can take it to them with both barrels. It doesn't have to be either or. We can hit them both ways, which to me is very, very exciting. Social media strategies, we've got a ton of them. None of them work for myself or Bruce just because we get banned all over the place, but there's ways that absolutely can work for other people. And much, much more. Now this is very, very cool, and I'll end with this. This app is called Freedom in Action app. In fact, I'm supposed to be with my my main app builder today, but I missed the timeline because he's in the UK right now, so I'll probably talk to him tomorrow. This is amazing. With this app, you'll be able to find local patriots in your area. Many of us think we're on an island, right? Many of us think, does anybody believe the way I believe? You would be shocked. In fact, this shirt here alone has proven to me that we're not on an island. Man, when I wear this shirt, and I'm not trying to sell them. By the way, they're in the back. Go get them. So it says, we the people are the plan, right? With a really cool embroidered logo that says Screw Big Gov right there. But the we the people are the plan, I've had so many different type of shirts. I've worn almost everybody else's shirts and my Screw Big Gov shirts, which are awesome. But for some reason, when I'm wearing this, constantly, hey, brother, I'm with you. Hey, what's that about? What's going on? I got locked down in DFW on a layover. I almost missed my plane because 6 separate people, not together, were all talking to me about we the people, just because I was wearing that in an airport of all things. Ooh, how dare you wear that in an airport? It was awesome. It was awesome. And people are so much more ready for this message than you think they are. I can tell you that. We just have to have the conversations. And how do we do that? And I'm not telling you to get my shirt. Get your shirt with your best message on it, right? Like Kevin always wears this one we had a long time ago, said, can you handle the truth? Whatever it is that you think that you can resonate with, you'll be surprised how many people will talk to you because you're wearing your message on your hat or on your shirt. It is amazing. So, yeah, and it got me out of ticket, but I think it'll probably get me in jail too, depending on the cop, right? So the key is if you wear your message on your shirt, it makes a big, huge, huge difference. So don't know why I got diverted from that, but you'll be able to find your local patriots right at freedominaction.net because it has an amazing geo-targeting feature where you say, what conversations with patriots are going on within a 10-mile area? Click. There they are. Start connecting with them. It's amazing. How about 20 miles, 50 miles, 1,000? The whole United States and soon to come other countries. So you can find out what's going on in regards to the same thought process that you're having on, not a bunch of BS and so on and so forth. This good stuff. Here's really cool though. This is what we're working on right now, and this is why it's delayed, because we have an events tab on there that, by the way, I'm looking in the camera right now. All you Patriot groups watching this, every single podcaster out there, every person that holds an event, you're welcome for free to post all of it on Freedom in Action, the app, so you can get all the ticket sales you want. I don't give a damn about that. What I care about is that we have options for we the people. So how cool is it that all the events that you may want to go to that you may not be hearing about, you just click on events, geo-target your area, say, hey, I'm willing to travel 100 miles. Great, put in 100 miles. And you'll see all the events are popping up. Amazing. But thank you. But here's the kicker. Now imagine you have that app. And we got a lot of people on there, which may take some time, but imagine you have that app. And you see or hear that they have pornographic material in a middle school library. You're like, what are we going to do about that? You know there's a school board meeting coming up, right? Boop, boop, boop. Pop it right in there. Say, hey guys, let's organize and let's all get down to the school board meeting. Can you imagine how powerful that is when 50 people or 100 people show up with the exact same message? They will cave every freaking time. We, the people, hold the power, and this is immensely, I think this is a game changer. I really do. Last but not least, this kind of just came. I was having a conversation with Dr. Frank. Does anybody know Dr. Douglas Frank? Right? He's got all the election statistics that he's put out for Mike Lindell. So, and he travels all over the country. And I was having a conversation, and it hit me. I go, wow, wait. I go, you know what this app does? It actually time and date stamps every post. And by the way, you can post videos on there. You can post images on there, whatever you want. It time and date stamps. And I said, what if on election day, I'm still not convinced there's going to be an election day, just so you know. I know it's crazy because it's getting squeaky close. So what if on election day, we had 100,000 people nationwide holding this app, and every time they saw something weird, they took a picture, they took a video, and they just typed in, all you have to do, because it's time and date stamp, just type in the precinct number. And now what we have is we have a tool. And even better, you know what we're doing? We're building up a network of evidence and cases to easily prosecute the baddies with all that. How powerful would that be? Right? So I'm not saying it's easy, but it's simple. And like Bruce said earlier, if it's simple, it's God's work. Right? That is the Freedom in Action app. You can find everything on freedominaction.net. This app is not out yet, but it will be very, very soon, and we're very excited about this. I am afraid to tell you this, but how much do you think this is going to cost? It's zip, zero, zilch, Zippo, the big goose egg, nothing, not in yet. It's free. All right, so hopefully you guys can enjoy that.
And yes, the support and stuff we talk about, we couldn't do this without all the people, right? I mean, it's way different speaking in front, ranting in front of a webcam than it is getting out here. And then we're super crazy thankful for the support that we have, our families and stuff like that, our sponsor, Verity Metals. But I know that there's people out there, hey, maybe they can't do, the only thing they can do is support. There is a donation. You can make a donation, help with the gas money. I mean, Esther gets like 8 miles a gallon, and we kind of map this out around 11,000 miles. You can do the math. The gas is not going to be cheap. But we got a lot of help from other people. But we're always looking for more. It's an ongoing effort. We're always right about zero. But there's people out there that can donate. There's some wealthy benefactor that's watching right now that they got a shit ton of money. They don't know what to do with me. So go to go to unitytour.us, unitytour.us, and there's a donate tab. You can donate there. All those funds go to support the tour. We're not living lavish lifestyle, folk. We're out here fighting for we the people. And then the health stuff for the pets, and just do the research. Go to the website. He gave you two websites. The studies, which we have nothing to do with, right? Mushroomstudies.co, mushroomstudies.co. Go there, check out all the sciencey stuff. And then there's tons of testimonials, information. Go to healthyswitch247.com, healthyswitch247.com to check out the products. Just check them out. Do your research. You'll be glad you did.
Thanks, Bruce. Real quick, guys, if for some reason you don't have the means to donate, totally cool with that, because what's even more powerful than that, in my opinion? That right there. Just pray for us. And that's the best donation you can ever give. If you pray for us, pray for the tour, pray for all the work we do. I can tell you there's people on the tour that I know that have been poisoned. There's some that's going to be happening that we're going to announce that's actually going to show a lot about that. We're now working with whistleblowers. We're blessed to have them now approach us. So this is big stuff, guys. This is how we take back our nation. So we'll take all the prayer manifesting that we possibly can have, okay? So I want to thank everybody that's here, and people watching probably don't know this, but there's fires around the area in Las Vegas right now, and there's just a film of smoke. You can taste it when you go outside. So the fact that you decided to come here anyways, instead of harboring around in your nice air-conditioned home, kudos to you, because that makes a huge difference. Thank you very much. And that's about it. You be hanging around. You can talk to.
We got 3 more coins to give away, but we can do the online thing. End the online thing.
Yeah, we'll end online here in a moment. We'll give away coins for you folks at home. There's a beautiful song that we already played here, suckers. But you're going to be able to watch right now. That's the To Unite, that was specifically made for this effort, and then a wonderful song by tenor also that's called Thank You. Everybody here, everybody at home, God bless you. We've got this.